Hi, so I wanted to talk to you today about forming a campaign in Noblesse Oblige. And with this game, you're most likely going to be playing, longer-term campaigns, long storylines that take place over several sessions. And so we want to start you out with, some story impetus, some materials to work with that will launch you into those long campaigns. So this is your kind of basic elements to story, or your setting and a cast of characters that your protagonists are going to have relationships with. And on the setting front, the first thing we're concerned with is what county this takes place in. So in Europe, which region of the kingdom that your protagonists are going to have their lands, and they are going to be interacting with the other lords there. So each county is most likely going to have, some features, things like terrain and weather and the types of people who live there. And these things are going to be covered by aspects. So when you first come around to the table and you decide what county this is going to take place in, the first thing you do is come up with 3 aspects for the county, and this really forms the core of the setting. It's just a very little piece of information, but we're going to build from there and get a lot more information. And the first thing that we're going to use to build on that is who the other lords are. So most counties are going to have an earl, the guy who holds most of the land, and they're going to have a sheriff, which is like the guy that the king installs to make sure everybody is following his laws and everything. And you're going to have a bishop who's concerned more with the religious affairs of the community. And so the GM is responsible generally for these really kind of big high level lords, and so is going to be creating those while the players are creating their protagonists. When you have protagonist creation in Chronica Feudalis, you had your mentors, you picked 3 of those, and they gave you your skills and tools. Well, it works exactly the same way with Noblesse Oblige. It's just that we now provide you with 3 more mentors. These are Lord mentors, and these, they still teach you skills, just like in Chronica, but now these ones grant you holdings instead of tools. So they provide you with your first manners. You might have a liege mentor who provides you with your fiefdom, or a predecessor mentor who gives you an inheritance or dowry. You might have a patron mentor who kind of sets you up as the superior of a monastery. And so by taking these mentors, you kind of establish yourself as a lord in this county. So while the players are doing that, the GM is creating, all these other, the earls and the bishops and the sheriffs, and, maybe a handful of barons and abbots and abbesses, and all these other, players on the big kind of chessboard of the county, so to speak. And the way this happens is, well, it's a method I was kind of, resistant towards. There's no random tables in Chronica Feudalis that I can think of, and so a lot of times with systems like this, it's, especially, with classics like Pendragon, random tables was kind of the name of the game. So I was trying to think, random tables do a really good job of providing, a lot of information very easily. You just roll some dice and, hey, you have some information. So how to kind of merge that with Chronica Feudalis? Well, I think I found a way that fits. So the idea is that you take one of each of the major step dice. So you've got a D4, a D6, a D8, a D10, and a D12, and you roll all of them at once. And then you sort them from highest to lowest. And these results you can then look up on a table, and they will give you the information of what the status of the lord is. Is she a countess? Is he a bishop? This type of thing. And then it tells you how many vassal lords this lord has. If the lord is married, if he or she has kids, and how many of them, and if they're sons or daughters, and if those sons or daughters are married or not. And this starts to paint a picture of who this lord is, and by the fact that he or she has vassals, and he or she is married or not, and he or she has sons or daughters. This has all these little kind of nodes that reach out and allow that lord to connect to other lords. So, some of those might be the protagonists. You might say, oh, you know what? I want to be the son of that earl. Or maybe I'm the illegitimate daughter of that bishop. You could also, be married to them, or you could be the vassals of them. And lots of times what you'll do is you make these lords that the GM creates, those will actually be your mentors. So, okay, if, the Earl is my predecessor mentor, then I've received my inheritance from him. Or if the bishop is my patron mentor, he's the one who made me the abbot of this monastery. And so that starts to create this relationship map that you draw out, and you create, a family tree, and you draw lines to the different, relationships of loyalty and patronage. And it really gives you this great piece of game material that you then you make copies of to give to all the players. And so as they're looking what to do, they can look at this relationship map, because it's, it's information that all of the lords in the county have on hand. It's, the very kind of basic relationships that are going on here, and they can say, hey, if I'm, if my character's not married, and this, this Earl has an unmarried daughter, then I can marry her and get a dowry. And so the wheels start turning at this point, and schemes start happening. There's this vassal lord over here, but he doesn't seem to have too many allies. I could, conquer him and take all of his land. So it really creates this really strong impetus to have an agenda, so that all the players start thinking, there's all of this land, there's all of these rival lords who are, potential enemies or potential allies, and I could really start a plan and put that into motion right away in the storyline. So it's not this kind of necessarily a slow burn into, some sort of grand plan that the GM has. It's the players coming up with plans, and the GM providing the environment for these plans to take place, providing challenges to make sure that they are fun and adventurous, and then, finally you get the rewards of the holdings if your plans come to fruition. So as you scheme away, as you conquer, as you battle, as you marry and inherit, you'll receive more lands, and it will then make you even more powerful. It'll make you one of the bigger players in the county, and at that point you can reach out and start adventuring and scheming and plotting into more counties. So that's kind of an overview of the formation process. It gives you an idea of the kind of elements that get you started and bring you into play. And so we will talk next time about the stewarding process, which is how you actually manage your holdings, how you use them to to build things, to create things, to perform political maneuvers, and how to make sure that everybody in your manor and your holdings gets fed. So we will talk to you again soon. Thanks for tuning in.